Oops. I think I am live, but I'm not sure. And I also haven't told anybody. So that probably doesn't help. But anyway, it's good because it's a bit of a test to see if it's going to work. Let me just grab some water. As you can see, I'm the worst live streamer in the world. And I'm pretty sure that's a fact. You know what I should do? What I want to do is actually put some... I need to get better at this. But this is some stuff from my sponsors. One of them being a rotor sound, which is probably in the wrong place. Or it will be when I get going. Alrighty then. Put this guitar on. Get my jetpack. Alright. And I think I'm standing in the right place. Okay, so we're going to be doing, talking about, I did a Facebook Live the other day and it was pretty terrible. So I sort of thought, right, you know what, I need to make an effort to improve this. So I've got a lav mic, which seems to be better. You can now see my guitar. And regardless where I go, you should be able to hear my audio. This is my Norsworthy guitar, built by Phil Norsworthy. Hopefully I can coax him away. When he gets older, if I'm still alive, I can coax him back into making guitars. That's my plan anyway. So we're going to be looking at some Van Halen-esque techniques tonight. Yeah, some downstroke stuff. And some picking stuff. And tremolo arm stuff and just some cool stuff in general. I should have put a little mark here as to where I've got to stand. But anyway, so I'm going to play along to this track, and if anybody's there, let me know if the levels are right. I didn't even tell Martin, which I should have done. But anyway, you never know, it might come up on his phone or something. So, a little bit of a Van Halen-esque track here. And let me know if anyone does happen to be watching. Maybe you can let me know. righty then. Is that going to jump to something else? No, it normally does. Oh, because it's the last one on the list. All right, so if anybody's got any comments, anything they'd like to ask, assuming I can even see those comments. They changed it on Facebook, or it was probably me, quite frankly, but if there's going to be any comments, they're going to be there, I guess. Okay, so I'll just write something like yo, if I can find an O somewhere, and then hopefully if I just press enter, that will happen. So if there's any questions, okay, so I'm going to start off with some fairly simple tremolo arm things that you can do that are quite fun. And a very typical Van Halen one that I happen to like a lot is the original where I heard this was on the Beat It solo. So you basically do your Angus Young type thing. But then what you do is you, just before you do that first pull off, and for those of you who don't know that lick, you're basically pulling off from 5 to 3 to open B. Now what you do is, before you do that pull off, you do a dip on the tremolo. All I've done is taken that lick and put it on the G string there, okay? So you've got... And then what you can do if you want is let that go to the open and then hit that harmonic. You just literally put your finger on it, you don't do anything. I'm not picking it. You can. And then you can sort of combine that with the typical tapping things. And then basically take it down the pentatonic scale like that. What I do is the back side of this first finger is going to mute the string, and then I'll hit the next string and then repeat the lick. And you tend to get quite a nice effect with that. Okay, moving on for those tremolo techniques. Another one I use is one we've probably all seen from the first Steve Lukather video. As you move up, you just dip the tremolo. And then you can either not dip it when you come back, or you can dip it again. Or just do combinations, really. Right, and just to give you, I think I'm getting a bit of noise off this mic or something, but don't worry about it, I'll try and stay as still as I can. And I want to give you just a little bit of an insight into how I do this. I don't know if this is what Uncle Edward does or anybody else does. But when I sort of vibrato the arm, as it were, I tend to do it in a circle. I'm trying to think if there's a way I can show you. But basically what's happening is I'm not going straight up and down. You can, or you can do it going more. But what I do is I actually go like this, like a circle. And the reason I do that is because, for those of you who are aware, when it comes to timing, if I was to throw this plectrum up in the air, which I won't because I guarantee I won't catch it this time, something happens before it comes down. And what happens is it stops. Right, so it's better to think in timing in terms of circles. Okay? And so that's what I do to make, if I want it to be really even, You notice Steve Vai, I can't do it, but he does this kind of circular vibrato thing. I don't know if that's why he does it, but that's, you know. So even though I'm sort of doing this kind of motion with my hand, and I just find that that really helps me get it in time. I'm wondering what's making that noise. So now, what I also do, I see the tremolo arm dip as a note. So what I mean by that, that's 3 notes. So if I go 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And you can get a group of 5 like that. So you go pull off, say for example in this key, we're pulling off from 8 to 5 on the B, hammering back to 8 on the B, 2, 3, dipping the tremolo arm, and then pulling off from 8 to 5. So you get. And then you can do that with whatever subdivision you choose, be it triplets. Normally I'll find the closest one that's comfortable to the track. So here, down, down, down. Yeah, so that'd be 8th notes. And then obviously if the next one will be 16th notes triplets or 8th note triplets. So let's have a little play with just those techniques so far. We've got this one. We've got the groups. We've got the slides. And then I'll get on to some more picking stuff. What we're also adding is well, let's do this tremolo arm stuff first, and then we'll move on. Oh, yeah. So hopefully that's given you some tremolo arm ideas, and I'll throw a couple of others in that you probably already know. One is a sort of Hendrix thing, but I saw it on the Steve Lukather video years ago, where he basically, say for example, he's playing on that kind of 20 on the B and then 19 on the G, and then he pushes the G up a tone. And then wiggles that bar to get that kind of effect. And one I think I saw a guitar player called Jan Circa do, or he might have showed it to me a long time ago, where you basically take this idea, where you take this E note here on the 12th fret high E string, and then this 15 on the B, and then you actually kind of go out of tune. But when you add the bar, it kind of adds this weird sound and makes it sound alright. I'm sorry if you're getting a bit of pop in there. I'm still sort of experimenting with how to get this mic to do what it's supposed to do. I'm not blaming the mic, it's my fault. I didn't want to put it on my shirt because it sometimes goes down, so I've put it on the guitar. But anyway, we will fool John and see how we get on. So that's quite a cool one. And then this one. Okay, so that's enough tremolo arm stuff. So I'll get on to this, something that I use quite a lot in my playing. You hear Paul Gilbert do this, but the first place I heard it was Van Halen 1. And what I learned as I got more into the Van Halen thing was, when I first started playing, for some reason I sort of thought, right, everything's got to be, you got to play every note, or there's, it's got to be done sort of correctly, whatever that means. But then I found out that, especially with Eddie, you'd have no problem just playing a hammer on from nowhere, as it's sometimes known. So if he played this lick, say this lick, there's a good chance that that note there is just from nowhere. So what I take that lick, which is basically going 4, hammer into 5, hammer into 7, pulling off from 7 to 5 back to 4, and then finishing on that 7D there. You get a nice lick like that, and then you could add this lick. So you're only doing 3 picks at once, and I like that idea of doing 3 picks at once. So I'll take that idea, which is basically pulling off from 7 to 4, then you pick again, hammering from 5 to 7, and then back down to 4. I'll do that real slow. And I'm just getting that groove. Mixing that with this, which is basically just picking 4, hammering to 5, hammering to 7, putting it back down. Mixed with the first one that we learned. And then just basically going up the scale there. Is it that mic? It must be. Anyways, so where this can really help out is if you've all heard this lick. Okay, now this particular tune that we're playing here is really from the A natural minor scale. But anytime you're doing this kind of riff rock thing, you can always sort of experiment with using, in this particular case, the F sharp as well as the F, which would be the natural one to the key. For those of you who remember the Brian Robertson solo from Don't Believe a Word, very cleverly uses both. Okay, so what we can do here, and there's a good reason this works, which is something I won't go into now, but in its simplest form, if you've got something, even like a triad, like you hear this a lot in jazz playing, right? You'll have a triad, and because that is such a strong sound, they'll move it up just kind of anywhere. They're not really thinking in terms of like, oh, this is right, that's right. Because it's such a strong sound. And so when you've got licks like this, when you're using... Now I'm already switching there, I'm going E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, which would be Dorian. I have a similar pattern here. When I get to here, I start to use the F, just because it makes it easier to play, and I'm sure that's the genius of Edward. He just goes, oh, well, that sounds good, I'll just do it. Now, what I discovered about this pattern that made it even easier to play is the fact that that first thing I do there, I pick. But after that, everything on the high E string is picked, but everything on the B string is just a hammer on from nowhere. So I'll just demonstrate really slowly. I'll probably pick the first one, but not always. Sorry. Is what I'm meant to be doing. Now, if I play that slow, I probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably... But as you go faster, it really doesn't matter. So... And then you can basically take that pattern pretty much anywhere and even do it chromatically. I'll probably start there. Okay? And then you can do that anywhere. And then maybe take it back into the key. Alright? But it's a really cool little lick that you can use in all the keys, and it works really, really well. And it's just using what I call that group of three picking. Pick, 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 pick. And you can just mix it in with all the other stuff. Right, so let's have a play using some of that stuff. I think I've got this mic on too loud, I don't know, but anyway, look, we'll experiment. I'll be able to watch back after. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines. Okay. I'm not sure what they are, but I'll try and be as nice as I can. If there's anybody there, it says there are... I don't know if there is any viewers. The average watch time is, I don't know if that's 7 seconds. That's pretty popular. Okay, let's do a little bit more playing. I'm only going to do half an hour tonight. So we'll do this, another quick chat, and then we're done. And I'll try and use some of these techniques that I'm talking about. made it. I think that's probably just about it for tonight. No one was watching anyway, I don't think, but at least it was a good little test to see if it's going to work. Because I'm probably going to stick to this Wednesday at 7. And if you would like to subscribe to my channel, I really would appreciate it. And if anybody has spent any time with me, I appreciate them doing so. Okay guys, have an absolutely fabulous evening, and I will speak to you very, very soon.